Perfect serve. Has been quite brilliant the way that he has served, especially under pressure during these two tiebreakers. I would just be thinking, can he nick one of these two Gomez service points?
And gets this sought-after victory of first at ATP level or slam level since the US Open. A comeback victory for the Portuguese. 3-6, 7-6, 6-4.
Some effort. I mean, 3 hours, 5 minutes. What a battle.
Did well there, Gomez. He was very much on the back foot. He was
setting a breakdown, and he was 5-2 up in that second set, able to just sneak through in the end on the tie break. Certainly some nerves trying to close it out, understandably, given that there haven't been too many wins for him, but that should do him the world of good. That should give him a real boost in confidence. You have to say, I mean, when he needed to, he did step up. He was the one that looked to be more aggressive. Tough for Etcheverry, because he played some really good tennis. He put himself in a good position there, maybe just a little tight in that second set. Certainly feel that he's going to be moving in one direction, given the strengths that he's got. Just still picking up valuable experience at this level, and that's what Sousa was able to draw on in the end. I mean, it certainly could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, you mentioned it, Luz, when it was happening, the tiebreak second set, he took it into his own hands. Use that experience, and we can hear from him very shortly.
I think as well, we talked about, you know, the quick turnaround's not easy. Totally different conditions here. The flight as well, and you know, disappointment with the Davis Cup would have been in his mind, so he's done a brilliant job.
And here he is now.
Joao, you have 2 Davis Cup matches, a long trip to Argentina, and you are playing during 3 hours. How are you?
I'm tired, yeah. Yeah, I think it was a great match. Not the best start. The conditions here are very different from what I have played on Saturday and Sunday on Davis Cup, but I was feeling that I was playing good, so I tried my best. I tried to have a good rest yesterday. I arrived here, I played a little bit, and I'm feeling that I can play very good on altitude. So yeah, I think I played a great match, great comeback. Thomas was playing very good, very aggressive at the beginning, and in the end I was somehow able to turn it around and to win the match.
You start losing the first set, but what do you have to change to win this match?
Yeah, as I said, Thomas was playing very aggressive. I tried to change a little bit that, trying to play a little bit deeper, more aggressive me. And in the second set I was able, after the break, I was trying to change my mentality to be a little bit more aggressive. It was good because after 2-1 I was 5-2 up. And yeah, I was able also to serve very well in the end of the set, and that's why I think I won.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Understandable he'd be feeling a bit of fatigue after that long journey, he was saying, but also talking about some of the tweaks that he made.
No, and I think, you know, the fact that he was able to get through, it'll all be about recovery for him, and in the end, both players pretty similar in terms of first serve percentages, points one behind. Etcheverry doing a better job behind his second serve. A lot of break point opportunities. They matched each other there. I mean, there wasn't much between the two of them. Obviously, the key breaker serve for Sousa in that third set. Etcheverry did have 2 chances to break, unable to convert them. Another epic battle.
who you happened to play just last, another marathon win against him. How did you mentally adjust?
Dramatic contest, this one won by Joao Sousa. He's the one who has gone through to the second round. He will face Cristian Garin in that second round for a spot in the quarterfinals. And down at the bottom, that matchup set Dusan Lajovic and Albert Ramos Vinolas. Lajovic winning on day one. Ramos Vinolas, the defending champion. He's an ever-present on the golden swing and has had so much success playing on the clay. See the seed right at the top, number 7, departing, courtesy of Garin. So one match is completed in 3 hours and 6 minutes. Sousa beating Etcheverry 6-4 in the third. The order of play there is the remainder. The last match is going to be Sebastian Baez and Luciano Dauderi. Baez finding it difficult to get some wins at this stage. Very, very exciting. That match could see some big forehands. Hugo Dellien, he's had some injury problems last 5 or 6 months, but healthy now it seems, taking on Pedro Cachin, another of those who's playing Davis Cup over the weekend. And the match coming up, Facundo Bagnis, he too is playing Davis Cup for Argentina, and he'll face a former Grand Slam semi-finalist in Marco Cecchinato.
Sí, yo lo que quiero preguntar a Joao, primero felicitarlo más allá de la victoria. Sos un tipo que evidentemente disfruta mucho de jugar al tenis. Estaba mirando tu actividad el año pasado, jugaste en el Copa Davis y torneos 34 torneos en el año. Sos el verdadero tocador, el Feliciano López de esta época, ¿no?
Me gustaría salir de Feliciano. Pero sí, no, soy un jugador que me gusta jugar, me gusta competir. Creo que cuando tengo varios partidos es cuando soy bastante peligroso, cuando gano bastantes partidos seguidos y cuando juego mucho. Me gusta coger ritmo y la verdad que me gusta jugar. Y intento pues competir lo máximo, obviamente respetando el cuerpo porque no soy joven ya, 33 ya se me hacen las piernas ya, hay que cambiar el kilometraje, pero no, bien, la verdad que contento y como digo, hoy las condiciones eran duras para mí porque hice un viaje largo, pero al final mentalmente estuve bien, competitivo y la verdad que mi entrenador me ayudó mucho hoy y muy contento.
Estuviste por momentos, Joao, un poquito contra las cuerdas por la potencia de tu rival, de Etcheverry, pero te quedaste en el partido a pesar de algunos momentos
Nació en Palermo, Italia, hace 30 años. Actualmente es 93 del ranking ATP. En su cuarta participación en el Córdoba Open, con ustedes, Marco Cecchinato.
Time now for our second match in Cordoba. And Marco Cecchinato is somebody who knows how to play on the clay, a former Grand Slam semifinalist at the French Open. And also he has been a title winner on the Golden Swing in Buenos Aires.
Nació en Amsterdam, Argentina, hace 32 años. Actualmente es 88 del ranking ATP. Es su quinta participación en el Córdoba Open. Con ustedes, Facundo Bagnis.
Facundo Bagnis has been a regular as well on the Golden Swing. He has good memories of playing in Cordoba, making a semi-final a couple of years ago. And somebody who spends a lot of his time, indeed, every season playing on the clay. And we just had a winner on this court in Joao Souza, who's playing a Davis Cup over the weekend. He's trying to make it 2 for 2 in that respect. Bagnis. Chair umpire for this one is Nacho Forcadell. Thankfully, it's nice and bright in Cordoba. Had some spits of rain in the first match. Hopefully that's going to be gone now and no stoppages. Contest today.
Deuce.
Conditions. It's already fascinating because you touched on it, Miles. He's just so keen. He wants to go to that backhand. Cecchinato knows it. He's trying to make sure he's not getting to that forehand of Bannis.
Yeah, he dealt with it well a couple of times. I think it was a little unfortunate with one of those bounces. Really had to adjust, but in the end, so easy that hook, isn't it? Just to keep going back into that side. And then from there, do you force a different pattern of play? Do you start asking Cecchinato to take that backhand early up the line? Riskier shot.
And there, yes, he was so keen. It seemed like Bannis to try and go to the other side, go to that other wing.
Not a lot he's gonna be able to do about that, apart from just extinguish the evidence. Accurate, a little bit of pace gathered off the line.
Bola, por favor.
Wonderful combination, the kick.
Because I actually thought that Cecchinato had done pretty well with the return, didn't he? That on the stretch. Decent depth, not a lot of pace for Bagnis to work with.
Oh. Too hot to handle.
Yes. Yeah, exactly that. See what he was trying to do, just soften the hands, but just a bit too much time for Cecchinato to get there, and he rips at it.
Overcooking the forehand, so Cecchinato with a chance.
Boy, that wasn't convincing, was it?
You wondered when he might change it up. The space was there for Bagnes, but he just missed it. And it is a break early for Cecchinato. The Italian leading by 2-1.
Hi.
Carlos Berloc looking on. Former player from Argentina. He loved playing on this surface. Once ripped his shirt in celebration, I believe, after a win. So, Maz, I was talking about Cecchinato and his early start to this season, playing in Pune, playing Australian Open qualifying. How much of a decision is that for a player with his ranking? To say, okay, am I going to play qualifying, or am I going to play challengers and maybe get that ranking up, take that chance?
You got to think someone like Cecchinato, who's achieved what he has, the ranking that he's got to, is, fancy himself to get through qualifying. It's far from his favorite conditions. We're seeing him, how his game works on the slower, bouncier conditions. You know afterwards if it's a good decision or not, though, don't you?
Hindsight is always great. It's not a cheap trip.
No. And I think, he had a good end to last year. Played, quite a few challenges there and had some success. So perhaps thought he was just ready to go to the next level now.
It's a great in-to-in forehand.
Yeah, held his ground nicely, didn't he? Because the serve, this is a lively court. The ball's really getting up. See, he kind of holds his position, doesn't allow Bagnes the time to recover.
Backs it up for 3-1.
Yeah, it's a good game in the end, having broken, because we feared for him a little after he missed it on the first point, and that's, I think, often when a player hasn't played matches, and I know he said he did very well at the end of last year, which he did on the challenges, but you kind of almost lose that momentum, don't you, with the break, and then start all over. And the confidence, I think, when you back up, when you get a break, you can back it up with a solid game. So he's done well there.
You're talking about his success last season, Miles. He won 2 challengers, his first 2 titles of any kind since 2019 when he won on the Golden Swing in Buenos Aires, 4 other challenger semifinals. He made 1 top-tier quarterfinal. That came in Umag. Obviously would have been very happy to go that deep, very close to the Italian border. But then he faced Franco Agamenone, his fellow Italian, and only won 3 games with that one. And in that particular match, he was just so down, so frustrated. It ended like that for him in Umag. Quickly out to 40 love.
This is not easy. Trying to get that ball before it gets away from him. Only onto the slice, not an easy shot to play. Oh, that's beautiful skills, isn't it? Just sort of fanning across the back of the ball, just directing it up the line.
14-15.
It's good to see though. Banyas is throwing in that odd serve and volley. Yeah, he holds that through up so the ball racket just comes across it.
Heavy stuff on the forehand.
It's a perfect return just about, isn't it? It's the serve is still up on the baseline, and to time that half volley takes some skill and a little bit of fortune. You're relying on the perfect bounce.
Ooh, net court taking wide, otherwise it might have gotten complicated, that game for Banyas. But he keeps it close in this first set. Cecchinato still leading by break, 3-2. Maybe looking at his coach there, Antonio Pastorino, talking about the bounce, suggesting how high the bounce is. One other match, by the way, ongoing on Cancha 1 into a third set between Barrios Vera and Zapata Miralles. Forced to hack at that return. Very nice serve.
It's such a fine line, isn't it? Because that's just a little more comfortable for him. He gets a clean hit on the return, and suddenly it's the server who's rushed. technique, just a flick of the wrist.
Seen so many examples this week already about players who really like to favor their forehand, even when they're in the backhand corner. We just saw Joao Sousa on the court, who loves to do that really throughout his career. Sometimes, of course, get into a bit of trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it, and then you got to pick your shot. And if you are out of position, give yourself a little time to recover. I mean, the worst, you dance into that backhand trend line, take it up the line, and it offers the easy forehand cross court to your opponent.
He's looking to get himself going, Bagnis.
40-30.
Shooting right off the line. Yeah, was he asking for a little more from his coach, which might be going back to what you said earlier about, you know, feeling a little kind of as though there's a little more spark there.
It was a good body serve, and there was a chance to finish and seal the game for Cecchinato.
Yes.
Nice to get that if you're Cecchinato at this stage of the game. What a finish. And now he does hold.
Beautiful pass. Thought he might have just lost the control of the rally. So this slice backhand, exactly sure what he was attempting, but it sort of hung there for a while. But he makes up for it with that beautiful strike. Slow enough that Bagnis once again couldn't quite get the purchase he would have liked on the approach. Cecchinato does increase the lead to 2 again.
He's looking for a first win against Bagnis. They faced 3 previous times, including on the Golden Swing a couple of times. Last one, 2021 Santiago, first round, 6-7, 6-2, 6-3 in 2 hours 40. Identical first serve percentage, 63, but first serve points won 83% to 63 for Bagnis. Oh, where he's hitting that drop shot. That's a stunner.
That is played to absolute perfection. Again, that move around, it's aggressive. It just sort of sets the opponent on his heels. See, he's a fraction slow, and even if he hadn't been, I'm not sure he would have got there.
He's missed that as well.
Just, perhaps a little indecisive, and he's been burnt by a couple of backhand passes, hasn't he, already? So maybe understand it.
That's a game he'll want to put quickly behind him, Bañez. But Cecchinato will take it. 2 breaks now to the good in this first set. 5-2 to the Italian. Serving now for this first set, Marco Cecchinato. Their match prior to the one in Santiago was 2015 in Buenos Aires. That too a 3-setter, 4-6, 7-5, 6-3. Although Bañez was up by a set and 5-3. So a good recovery to overcome the disappointment, win it in 3. Might have been just a little bit late initially to react to that. Bañez fooled.
Yeah, I think he was. He didn't see it coming again. Good disguise from Cecchinato. He's used that mixture of the slice and short ball. You see the care he plays out. It just clipped the net core, but I'm not sure it made a whole lot of difference.
Racing to the finish line in this first set. He's won 9 straight points and now has 3 set points. He didn't have much room, executed it well.
14-15.
Yes, he's trying to just change that return position, get up the court, get it quickly, get that sort of shot to work with. Easier. Cecchinato is really bouncing his court, serve out of court.
Confident enough to take it on the second serve. A wonderful set of tennis from Marco Cecchinato. In just over 30 minutes, he does take the first over Bañez, 6-2.
A set that entered ended pretty comfortably for Cecchinato. It didn't look that way over the first couple of games, but perhaps just a preparation time for Bagnas really starting to show. Very much dominated by the Italian in the end, and those service numbers will tell you that. The second serve in particular, an area of weakness for Bagnas, who just doesn't seem quite at grips. Although coming back to his home surface, not quite sure how to get to grips with the spin and the bounce that Cecchinato's putting on the ball. He got off to that early break with Bagnas' second service game. Took advantage of a few unforced errors, and well, he hasn't looked back from there, Cecchinato.
Time.
He's out early, Marco Cecchinato, and understandable given how that first set went.
Por favor, gracias.
See him just leaning one way and he went the other.
Well, he kind of had to guess, and well, Cecchinato, you said quickly out, and he probably would have liked to have no sit down at all. Just carry on with that momentum. There's a little bit of frustration down the other end. The sense that Bagnas is searching for his game. There it is again.
Well done. Good spring in the legs.
I think, I mean, it's obviously extreme. He's coming from an indoor hard court in Finland, but I think we sometimes don't make enough of how conditions affect certain, or all players.
Well, they're going to play a let as his cap fell off.
You get the point.
Of course, you get to replay it once, don't you? Next time you lose the point.
took advantage of that. What about that rule, Miles? Is that a good rule? Should the player who's capped, in this case Bagnes, or the ball falls out of the pocket, should they lose the point?
Certainly an argument for that. I've never really thought about it, but
oh, it's on the line. Big rub of the green for Cecchinato.
He's trying to send that message to Bagnes that it's just not your day, is it? But yeah, I mean, to be fair, and I've never seen it abused, but it would be quite easy for someone just to, you know, in a difficult situation, just to flick the ball out of their pocket or.
Oh, a chance. That was a chance to bring up a break point. Having said that, the first volley almost flying long.
What are your thoughts on that? Yeah. I mean, you're responsible for the balls and the cap
you know
that you're wearing.
Honestly,
right?
I could see it. I could see the point going against the player because just as you said, it's no fault of the other player. No, listen, it may not be intentional, but the fact of the matter is it's on your side.
That's a big hold for Bagnes. Did worry, and there was a couple of opportunities in there. He had the net caught, and certainly at 30-all, I think Cecchinato would have liked to have made more of that backhand pass, but just got to find a way, buy himself some time on the court and start to feel more comfortable. These are, talked about the conditions. I mean, this is probably perfect for Cecchinato. It's high bouncing. You know, he wants a spin to get that ball jumping up off the surface, and you know, even within a clay court, it can be very different on a cool, wet day. Suddenly that court doesn't bounce. The slide is a lot heavier.
And there will be different conditions as we turn into nighttime in Cordoba.
As temperatures drop.
And the humidity has really risen in the night matches. Difficult chance, well chased Bagnes.
And he played it with precision, didn't he? Made it awkward for Cecchinato. See how quickly he's probably on his way back in. And it's not a bad drop shot, but just makes it as difficult as he possibly can for the Italian.
He was either here nor there, Cecchinato.
Oh, nicely done, quickly into position. You know, just on the conditions, I remember one of the, I'm not sure off the top of my head how many times Federer did beat Nadal in a clay court, but one of them was in Hamburg on a very cold, wet day. And contrary to what you might think, that suited Federer because Nadal's ball didn't have that life in it. It wasn't jumping up off the surface and and the footing was firmer on the wet court, wasn't slippery. Yeah, you can make a clay court quick. That return there, well struck, as you know, shoot off the surface.
There's an opening for Bagnes. Oh, that's a stunner.
Gasquet-like, absolutely whipped across court. Whether he went for as much angle as this, I don't know, but he'll tell you he did.
He meant it. very important moments. You think, even though he won that first set out of counter, he hasn't had a lot of victories at ATP level. Things can switch in a hurry.
I think you're absolutely right. This is the moment where he could either keep the momentum or things could level right up.
So that's a good response then.
What a serve that is. How about the accuracy, the angle he gets off it, and then again, that kick up off the surface.
Left, 7-7.
Oh, if he had any chance, it was taken away because the ball hit the line and just died.
Quite get his defensive forehand cross court, but he said, I'm not sure it would have made any difference with that sort of bounce.
Second chance.
Isn't it? Situation and logistically.
And this could be the game if he is able to get out of it. Really put pressure on the next game of Bañez. He has come through.
Yeah, it's a big hole, no doubt about it. A couple of break points seen off. One in style, that really impressive ace, but Bañez will kick himself for the return. Missed on the second.
You're talking about the conditions, Miles, and the bounce that this court is able to generate, and maybe that's, you know, obviously maybe a good thing for checking out. But I wonder, because of his one-hander, how good is it if he's facing players who are able to generate that spin and target that side?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it gives him time to play it. You can go deep in the court, wait for it to come into that strike position, but it's about him trying to get his forehand into play first.
Yeah.
I don't know if any one-hander likes it up there at shoulder height. I mean, some that deal with it pretty well.
I think of it, someone like a Tsitsipas, because he is a taller player. So it's not going to get up as high because he is so tall.
Yeah, he's not a totally dissimilar backhand, actually. Likes time on it, sort of comes across the ball slightly.
40 love. Against 40-15.
So no ill effects for Bañez. After those break points came and went. Strong hold to lead in the second set now. 2-1 in the second to Bañez. A match on Cancha 1 still ongoing between the wild card Berrios Vera from Chile and Zapata Miralles. Zapata Miralles won the first set 7-5. Berrios Vera won the second 6-4, and he's up by a break 4-3 in the third. So he's on the verge of making the quarterfinals. That'd be something after getting the wild card. That's a good start for Cecchinato, especially after the last game when he had to face those break chances. He leaned into it.
Yeah, and a bit of positive body language there from Bañez as well. See how he gets up onto the baseline and then inside it for this backhand. A couple of shuffle steps, taking on the rise and punching it through the court.
Just a little late maybe to get there. Was he expecting the ball to go the other way?
Yeah, was it a clean hit from Cecchinato? I'm not sure, but just thinking, you know, I asked about the troubles of the one-hander. It's not too evident right now, as he's comfortable sitting back there. And you know, like Gasquet, he gets a great whip around the ball, doesn't he? I mean, it's magical what Gasquet can do with it at times.
Oh, miss it, return, worked out perfectly.
There's no doubt that was a large slice of luck, wasn't it? Really caught Cecchinato out. From this side, just lining up the forehand, didn't realize quite how short it was going to be.
The buena coming from Bañez. He was such a good shot from Cecchinato.
Oh, he held his ground so well. Bañez, not a bad return. He struck a little short perhaps, but just no quarter given by the Italian.
See, they're right on the line for 2-all. Interesting, Miles, you just used the word magical to describe Gasquet's backhand. Nobody would dispute that. But I wonder in terms of practical terms, in practicality of a one-hander against a two-hander, as much as they can produce some magical drives, we love it because the force they can generate, the angles. Those are sides, are they attackable? The backhand, the one-handed backhand, more than a two-hander?
Yes, I think that is the case, and you often hear. I mean, I think hasn't Federer even said if he taught his kids, he'd teach them a two-hander. I mean, I think you have that. You know, the return is such an advantage, that ability to shorten the swing and punch it back into play. And I think, you know, as the game's evolving, I mean, you perhaps don't, you know, you don't see a two-hander with the whip of the likes of Cecchinato, but you know, you got Zverev's, and I mean, for me, one of the most graceful backhands, Sebi Korda. It's moved on from it being sort of a functional shot to actually, there's a couple that look pretty graceful now, don't they? Sinner.
Yeah. And the power he can get on the backhand, Sinner, is remarkable.
You'd take that, wouldn't you? Look like you're thinking about that.
I pondered it for a second. But speaking on backhands, if we think about Argentina, how about David Nalbandian?
Yeah.
A two-hander.
Yeah, pretty sweet off both wings, isn't he? But, you know, your point is well timed, because there's a couple of returns missed from Cecchinato. There's sort of, again, that sort of fanning across the ball.
I was going to ask too about the possibility of slicing, but on this surface where the ball bounces really high, it's going to make it so difficult. Yes, struggled with some returns in that game. It did Cecchinato. But it's been a good recovery in the second set for Bagnis, who's down by a set. He's looking to force a third in Cordoba. Has the lead. 3-2.